So joining me now is NewsNation media contributor and founding editor of Mediaite.com, Colby Hall. Colby, great to see you. I would like to start with why these fires seem to be kind of like the perfect storm when it comes to feeding the rumor mill, particularly when something we just talked about last week, social media platforms like Facebook, Meta, they are loosening the reins on what people can post.
Right. I think one word best describes it, and that's chaos. There's chaos sort of surrounding this very fluid and breaking story. Everyone has their own take, and you have a lot of people that seem more committed to sort of promoting a partisan agenda on both sides. You know, we use the term fog of war to describe sort of how hard it is to sort of get the real story in journalism with foreign conflicts. I think it applies here. It's the fog or the smoke of this fire, and you have some very visible people naming, for example, Elon Musk, who runs the most popular information social platform X. You have President-elect. You have a lot of Biden supporters who are out there really sort of putting out information before they know that it's true. It's just gossip. And people take gossip as gospel, and that's where we get in trouble. So yeah, we've never really seen misinformation spread like we haven't seen this fire spread.
Right.
It's a historic time.
Yeah, gossip spreading like gospel. I like how you put that. All right, so at the top of this, Colby, we talked about things like, firefighters are using handbags. We talked about some fire trucks, allegedly being barred from entering the state. There are claims that the governor himself, Gavin Newsom, started these fires because he wants to rezone certain areas. Just talk about but that certainly is far from being it. What are some of the biggest lies that we are seeing promulgated on social media?
Well, it's difficult to know what's really a lie. I mean, one of the biggest stories here is, the water levels in Los Angeles. And depending upon who you talk to, you get different stories because there are different parts to the stories, right? Like there are places where water levels were not acceptable, right? They were low. But there were plenty of firefighters in Los Angeles who said that there was no problem. They had high pressure, so it really depends on what you're saying. The example that you said where there was an Oregon sort of team of firefighters that were rejected because they were not allowed to enter the state because of government regulations. Flat out lies. The video of the firefighters fighting with the fire with handbags, I saw that video and I immediately said that this doesn't pass the sniff test. It doesn't look to be the way it's portrayed. And as it turns out, it is apparently a standard. There's canvas bags is a standard way to put out small burning embers, so you don't sort of, you spray with a big hose. You don't want to risk spreading embers. So, there are so much disinformation. It's really hard to really know where to begin. And frankly, journalists like outlets like NewsNation, who was the very first cable news outlet to cover this kind of wall to wall, they're abiding by journalistic standards and waiting for things to be confirmed. Those are not standards that are being held to on any social media platform. And so that's why the social media or the misinformation and the gossip spread so,
right. And then a lot of times people will say, they're not seeing it on, more mainstream media outlets. And why aren't they telling the full story? Well, it's because it's not the full story. Colby, last question for you. Many times really fact-checking, even for just normal everyday people, really can be simple. Do you think we'll see people do that, or are we going to see this problem only grow, do you think?
I think it will grow. I think we'll see fact-checking in the form of community notes. I will say that one of the most interesting things I've seen recently on misinformation was someone asked X's own sort of AI device, Grok, to diagnose Elon Musk's tweets about this fire. And Grok itself said that Elon Musk is promoting a ton of misinformation, disinformation, and propaganda. And so when X's own AI outfit is calling out its owner, there's a real problem there. And I think AI will help. I think community notes will help, but I'm skeptical. I think we need to have media literacy, and we need to be way more skeptical of what we see before we promote it. But I'm pessimistic that is going to be any magical change anytime soon.
All right. NewsNation media contributor, founding editor of Mediaite.com, Colby Hall, thank you so much.
Thanks, Nichole.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.